So the story of the Columbine Massacre sort of interested me. It happened on April 20th, 1999 by Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, two basically misfits. They were two bullies. There's a lot of rumours going around that they were on an exclusive club in their school called the Trenchcoat Mafia. But these guys were two complete outcasts. They weren't even in it. Trenchcoat Mafia which was like a collection of weirdos. These guys were total outcasts. That day they planned it for months, and they went down, put fucking propane bombs in the cafeteria, set them all around the school. When they went on shooting that day, apparently they just walked onto the playground, and all the fucking guys at school thought it was a prank. They threw down smoke bombs, and it was actually explosive, but the smoke bombs didn't go on, and all the kids in the class were going, "Oh look, Dylan and fucking Eric are fucking having a laugh, they're making smoke bombs." And they were all cheering and stuff. Next time, pulled out a shotgun, boom, started shooting the fuck out of their schoolmates. And all the boys were fucking running and screaming, and one of the victims was stopped, and she said, "Please don't help me," or "Please help me," and if it was Dylan, turned around and said, "I'll help you." Boom, blew her fucking head off. And I remember seeing Marilyn Manson talk about them in the documentary Bowling for Columbine, and Michael Moore says to Marilyn Manson, because at the time Marilyn Manson got a lot of rap for his metal records, being blamed for encouraging to shoot because they wore trench coats and stuff like that. But Michael Moore says to him, how do you feel that during the time of that shooting, Bill Clinton had bombed so many fucking people in Kosovo? And he says, what, I think that is a really interesting statistic, or a really interesting bit of information. And then Michael Moore says to him, "What would you say? Tell them if you met Dylan and Eric now." And Marilyn Manson turns around and says, I wouldn't tell him a goddamn thing. He said, "I think I would listen to them, because that's what nobody else did." But it's such a shame on all those people that died, 13 in fact, and a lot of people injured, paralysed, pity and all that there too. But just a shame that sort of shit happens in America. The whole jock mentality and bullying in schools, that bullying gets so bad over there that fucking people are driven to come in and shoot the fuck out of their schoolmates. And it's also quite weird that on April 20th, the day it happened, was also Adolf Hitler's birthday, and many people believe that they might have been white supremacists or something like that there, but it turned out that no. Some suspected that they had planned it for the day before, and on the 19th of April, that was actually when the Oklahoma bombing was committed. It was the anniversary of the Oklahoma bombing, so they might not have even been interested in white supremacy. It might have been connected to the Oklahoma bombing and stuff like that there, which Timothy McVeigh done, blowing up a large building because of the ATF. But funnily enough, there was Bismuth tapes released, 5 Bismuth tips they were called, and it was basically them talking on camera about what they planned to do with a shooting and that there, and 2 out of the fucking 5 Bismuth tips were released, and the other 3 were completely destroyed. And some suspect that the other 3 that were destroyed by the FBI because they actually had a solid motive and political reasoning behind the shootings. It wasn't so much two mindless kids going crazy, but there was like a political ethos to what they were doing. And funnily enough, their parents were arms fucking distributors, and fucking they made rockets and all for wars. They worked for Halliburton, I think it was. So their parents were active in the war game, and some conspire and theorise that those Bismuth tips may have exposed the fact that they were angry at the mindless murder their parents were doing, and it wasn't just a case of 2 weirdos shooting up a school because they were bullied. But yeah, it's fucking weird, hey? The Columbine Massacre, the Trenchcoat Mafia, and their video rehearsals as well. They done a lot of video rehearsals, and some of those videos are online, but they're two daft fuckers, eh? Two daft cunts. And there's a lot of rumours going around that one of them was actually a good guy and the other guy was more of the mastermind. It was seen in Eric Harris's book that he had sympathised with the Nazis and stuff like that there. So, you know, it's one of them thing. But one of the peculiar ideas that I heard about the Bowling for Columbine Massacre was that there was a third gunman involved. A lot of reports on the day when the massacre happened reported seeing a third gunman, and some suspect it might be this other guy, which I can't name on the podcast because it could be done for fucking libel, sued from abroad for saying this. But there was a theory that there was a third gunman involved, because when they actually committed suicide in the library, the gunshot wounds were opposite sides of their head from where they would have been pointing, meaning either one killed himself from a changed hand and killed himself from the other hand, or else there was a third gunman and he didn't die and the three of them blew each other's heads off, because for them two to be standing fisting each other and shoot each other, the gunshot one was at the other side of the head from where they were standing. So there's actual criminal logistics, and they prove that they may not have blew their fucking heads off. It may have been somebody else. But that's going on the Sandy Hook material and conspiracy theory central. There's no real solid evidence for that apart from testimonies and somebody reporting seeing somebody at the roof shooting down. But I found it very suspicious when I seen those library photos. Some of them are on the dark web. You can see where they committed suicide, you know. And it is very suspicious looking. It doesn't look like they blew each other's heads off, you know. But the Columbine Massacre, pretty interesting. Hey, you know, crazy now that when we look at the world and that's all you hear every fucking year is another fucking school shooting. So it's fucking crazy.